Since the bombing ended in 1990, more than 9 million pounds of remnants have been cleared to begin restoration projects. We now show you those projects that the Kahoolawe Island Reserve Commission and Protect Kahoolawe Ohana are working on.
Grow strong.
Kahoolawe is on the slow path toward reclamation, but it has a long way to go after being dramatically transformed over the decades through introduced animals and military training.
This is as far as you can get, ecologically destroying the environment. You had the goats destroying the plants. You had cattle and sheep for a long time, really tearing up the island. Then you have bombing that kind of made any restoration effort very difficult.
The Navy was ordered to end their bombing practices on Kahoolawe in 1990 and then received $400 million over 10 years to clean up the island. Over that decade, the Navy cleared about 75% of the surface of the island.
Kahoolawe today is not like Kahoolawe 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we were walking around and there's bombs everywhere, everything all over the place. Today, a lot of the areas are clear and you may spend a whole day not seeing any remnant of unexploded ordnance.
However, the biggest part of the reserve still hasn't even been touched.
A lot of the island was cleaned up, but the ocean was never. So 100% of the ordnance that was dropped is still in there.
To protect the ocean, the Protect Kahoolawe Ohana and the Kahoolawe Island Reserve Commission are working to preserve the land by reducing erosion.
We lose about 1.9, nearly 2 million tons of topsoil sediment every year, annually, and it's all deposited into our nearshore reef ecosystem. So that is probably the biggest challenge.
From this point on, there are bombs right under us in this ground. So how do you plant in these conditions? That's why crews have implemented techniques like this to help with plant restoration. Resource specialists decided to grow above the ground, planting seeds in rock mounds like these that capture the wind-blown soil. So far, more than 400,000 native plants have been replanted.
Initially, we did several projects and our survival rate was about 5 to 10%. That was without irrigation. All we could give each plant was 1 liter of water at planting, and that's it. After we had a water catchment built and storage, and with irrigation, our plant survival ran up to 80 to 90%.
With a small budget and a big island to restore, they're using whatever is donated to them as their next tool.
We took sheets from Four Seasons, wrapped them around logs to create this moisture barrier around logs. We took the plates that they're going to throw away. We used them to collect rainwater to build soil up in the areas that we couldn't plant in.
Work to restore the spiritual aspect of the island is also essential.
Our real thing is to kind of clean up the archaeological sites, observe what's there, and including the environment, and then do the practices, do the ceremonies, so that we can kind of create those communications with the other gods.
While we were at Moa Ulanui, we offered a ho'okupu, or gift of lei and chant, to the rain shrine. While progress is being made in some areas with the help of thousands of volunteers, it's estimated that generations will pass before the island is fully restored.
Otherwise, it's just going to be something people will read, and that's all. And they won't understand it. It's just going to be a part of the history that nobody's getting into what was done in the past.
We've taken the baton and we'll carry the baton as far as we can, and when it's time, we'll pass it on to make sure that that finish line is reached.
The Kirk says there is about a 2-year waiting list to volunteer, so it's better to go with a group. Now, if you'd like to volunteer, we posted a link to the Kahoolawe Island Reserve Commission's page and the Protect Kahoolawe Ohana's page on our website, hawaiinewsnow.com. Coming up Monday, we'll take a look at the future plans in store for Kahoolawe.